So on the weekend, we saw Conor McGregor break his leg in very dramatic fashion against Dustin Poirier. And it's not the first one. Recently, before that, we saw Chris Weidman break his leg against Uriah Hall, which is strange. You know, we saw for the last probably 2 years, 12 months to 2 years, there was a massive spike in calf kicks. Conor McGregor, obviously, you know, in the fight previous to this with Dustin Poirier, lost largely due to the fact that he didn't have an answer for the calf kick. So why does that happen? Or how do we go from seeing these super effective calf kicks to all of a sudden we're seeing two superstars of the sport break their legs kicking the calf and unsuccessfully kicking the calf and breaking their legs? How does that happen? And I think a lot of it, like, first of all, let's go into why the calf kick worked in the first place. So I think the best case study is to look at Muay Thai. In Muay Thai, classic Muay Thai stance is, if you look at a clock, you've got your foot facing 12 o'clock, your front foot and your rear foot facing around approximately 2 o'clock. The reason largely for this is so that a Thai boxer can easily check and turn the foot out to check a kick coming. So the effective location on a leg to check with is the bone. So the bone obviously stops on my bone here, mine stops about there, and the rest is calf. So in Muay Thai, because you're already standing with your foot facing forwards, it's like a lot of the time, if someone was to kick my calf, the reason why you don't see calf kicks in Muay Thai is because you're almost kicking their check for them. So for a calf kick to be effective, they want to try and hit around the side here like this, where it's nice and soft. The bone's hard, and for some reason, I don't know why, I've kicked a lot of shins in my life, it always seems to hurt the person kicking more than the person blocking. But I still don't quite understand. But for some reason, if you kick someone's shin, it might hurt their shin a bit, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to hurt you more. I don't know, it's the universe playing games or something. But in MMA, the stance, due to the fact that, you know, a couple of different reasons, a lot being have to worry about takedowns, so people get a little bit deeper. And this obviously isn't an athletic position. So they get a little more side on, so they get a little bit wider, so they can deal with takedowns. And also the fact that in MMA, you're wearing much smaller gloves. So you can't just rely on having hands up as much. So a lot of guys do like to rely on the head movement and footwork, and the wider, deeper stance allows for more slipping and rolling with the head so that you're not just, you know, covering up behind little gloves. So because of those reasons, MMA fighters tend to stand a little more side on, which obviously exposes that calf. And it was almost like people just didn't realize that kicking the calf was an option, or it wasn't as popular until recently. Now people are caught onto it and everyone started doing it. And whether MMA fighters even realize that they've done it, but I think a lot of guys might have just changed their front foot and back foot position by even just a few degrees. And it doesn't look like much, but just going from there to there, I'm still able to do most of the things I was doing from there to there. Still, like, there's not a huge difference in me, but it does create like maybe a 10% more likelihood of that person kicking the shin bone and not the calf. And even from there, I can still maybe just pivot or lean into that knee more effectively than I could if I was more side on. So what a lot of time was happening, even if you look on the undercard of Conor McGregor versus Poirier 3, you can see Carlos Condit fighting and he's just getting nailed in the calf over and over and over. And a lot of it, he is quite side on. Whereas if you look at Poirier and look at Uriah Hall's stance, then their front foot is not as side on as many other MMA fighters you'd see. That front foot it's not straight, but it is more straight than you'd see from a lot of other fighters who might be considered more susceptible. Whether they realize that or not, whether it's just a case of them being in the gym and sparring enough, and just over time, subconsciously, they've just adjusted because everyone's throwing these calf kicks now. That might have caused them to stand this way. But yeah, what my prediction is, what's going to happen is over the course of the next sort of year or two, we're going to see, especially after these breaks, a couple of things might happen. You're either going to see more breaks where people don't quite learn, to read the body, when to kick the calf and when not to. So you either see more breaks or you'll see way less kicks. And it might be a bit of a cycle for a while. People start turning more front on. Maybe they become more open to takedowns. Then all of a sudden people start turning side on. The calf kicks, it'll be one big cycle, to go from calf kicks to no calf kicks for a while. Then it'll come back in fashion. People catch on, adjust their stance a little bit, and the cycle will continue. But let's be clear, a lot of it is luck as well, being unlucky. I've kicked so many calves, I've kicked so many checks in my time, and every single time I kick a check, I consider myself lucky that I didn't break my leg. Like every time I sort of thank my lucky stars. And it's almost like that moment of where you nail it, and I was a big leg kicker through my whole Muay Thai career. I used to split my shins open all the time, kicking people's knees, they get their check in the way and I'd split my shin. But every single time I hit it, it was almost like that hold your breath moment when it come down. I was like, oh no, okay, my leg's still there. Because leg breaks do happen in Muay Thai. They just don't tend to happen from calf kicks because, like I said, you're sort of doing their job for them. In Muay Thai, if they're standing there and you kick their calf and they just kind of stand there, they almost checked without even having to move their leg. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think that over the course of the next year or two, you're going to see either people are going to get way better at reading and knowing when to throw the calf kick and when not to, or you're just going to see a lot less of them, or you're going to see more breaks, one or the other. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree or disagree, maybe there's something I missed, let me know. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video.